So I was talking to a friend yesterday and I told her, I feel like God has two modes in my life where nothing is happening. And I'm like, God, where are you? I haven't heard from you in a minute. Nothing is happening. It's just like mundane life. And I'm like, what are we doing? And then the other mode is everything's happening. There's a waterfall. It's like I'm getting revelations from scripture. The open doors are swinging wide open. Like people are reaching out, things, and it's just like there's no in between. Like there's no in between with God. Like why can't we just have consistency where it's like he shows up a little bit every day and not at all, or feels like not at all. Like we know God's there. And then it's like, whoosh. Is anybody else? Does that happen to anybody else? I don't know. So if you are feeling like you are like, God, where are you? It's like dry wilderness. I don't hear from you. I'm trying, but it's just nothing. From what I've experienced, that is when God is calling you into him. He's calling you in. He's pulling you in. He's like, baby girl, like it's not your time to go to warfare and go out and like do all the things that you want to do. Like I'm calling you in. So like lean into that. Lean into the fact that your father wants to hold you and he wants to bring you in and he wants to comfort you. He wants to renew you. He wants to make some things that you might be pushing down to come to light and to deal with them and give them to him. So if you feel like he's nowhere to be found, I promise you, he sees you. He's listening to your prayers. He sees your tears. He sees you waiting on him, but he wants you to come. When I was in high school, I played basketball. I know it's shocking. I was a little bit good, nothing to brag about. Anyways, when we were playing as a team and we were fumbling the ball, missing shots, we were losing, we were being defeated by the enemy, he would call a 30-second or a 60-second timeout. Because we needed our coach. We needed either like a sip of water. We needed a break. We needed to realign what we were doing together as a team and individually as players. And so if, you're in this timeout season where you're not in the game, you're not playing, you see everybody else and they're like scoring and doing all these things and you just want to play the game. You want to get in there. You want to do what you know you were called to do, but God has called you in for a 30-second or 60-second timeout. It's because you might need some water. You might need some rest, or you might need to realign what it is that you're doing on the court. Does that make sense? I say all this to say, I feel like 2023 was a year where my coach used his allotment of timeouts plus about 47 more. I feel like every time I got like a tiny bit of momentum, he called timeout. I don't even know if I was fumbling the ball, but I felt as though it was like maybe I just needed rest or water or time with my kids, husband. I feel as though I have been on an every other week timeout with God. And today I feel as though he's calling me back on the court. And I'm a little bit nervous. I feel almost a little bit rusty because I feel like played the game for very long. A little while ago, I posted a reel about not focusing on what God is calling you to do, but who you have a burden on your heart for. I talked about how God spoke to Ananias and basically said, you need to go to Saul because I told Saul that you were coming. And so I feel as though I'm Ananias and I feel like God is calling me to help you, specifically those who feel called to build these programs and start this business online. And you don't know what the heck you're doing and you don't know how to do it. And there's a million steps and there's a million ways to fail and there's a million ways to fall. I know this because I did all of them. Over the last 8 years, I have built several businesses and failed a crap ton. And I know that your fear is that you don't want to misstep, but you know God's calling you. And so I know what you're going through right now. you feel this tug on your heart, this call from God. You heard him whisper it to you, a vision, dream, whatever, however God talks to you. And you're like, I know this is what I'm supposed to do. Podcasting, YouTubing, course creating, building memberships, communities, whatever this thing is, taking your passions and multiplying them to the people on the internet, to specific people that God's calling you to. Like, that's what you're going through. But the overwhelm, the confusion, the fear, my God, the fear, it's overwhelming. It's right in your face. The enemy is coming at you at all angles. The people in your life are being like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Your bank account is like, are you sure this is what you want to do? But I promise you I'm almost done. But here's what I believe to be true. I believe that God is calling up a ton of women, an army of women, like modern day Pauls, to do some wild things, business related, ministry related. And I feel like I'm Ananias, and I feel like I'm supposed to step into obedience, what I'm called to do, which is to teach you, to lead you, to help take the scales off your eyes, to show you kind of like the way of how to do this thing that you're called to do. And so if you feel called to this world of online business and ministry where you want to take your passion and multiply it, I have something for you. Those who God is calling to start this thing, to do this thing. It's weird, it's crazy, you don't understand. And you want to just take some like teeny tiny little baby steps to just kind of learning about the world of online business and what this could potentially look like, and a couple options that you could, optional products that you could create, like courses or memberships or a online shop or a coaching program or a mentorship program, mastermind retreats, whatever. You're not quite sure, and you're just like, what are my options? I don't know nothing about nothing. If this is you, I created a very, very simple guide to give you your first steps. It's called the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Online Business. And I have literally everything that you need to know, and not just like a bunch of stuff to like make you overwhelmed. It's just the crap you need to know. So if you're ready to take a few baby steps to doing this thing that God's calling you to do, like setting up and starting, launching, building, growing an online business or ministry, just click the link below and grab the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Online Business.